Hi there and welcome to History of Fleetwood Mac Singles. I'm Anita. Today I have another little pop-up video of my scrapbook pages. I like to kind of pepper these in between the 45 and soon to be LP videos just to keep people coming to my channel. It just keeps growing and I just can't express to you how grateful I am. And on that quick note, I did want to say that the giveaway for the poster had ended. And a big shout out to Michael G. I'll just leave it at that. He knows who he is for having participated. Virtually the only participant, but I couldn't be more thrilled to send it to him. And just to let you know that next time I have a giveaway, it would have been pretty easy. It would have been like a 50-50 chance or 1 in 3. So, but it's okay. I have a lot to give away. I'm happy to share it with anybody. And again, just everybody who comes to this channel and watches what I have to talk about and show, I just can't express to you my gratitude. So probably by the end of May, I will have something else that I want to show for a giveaway, and I'll figure out how to have some kind of contest with that. There's just another little stack of scrapbook pages that I have yet to go into my books, and I thought, again, I would share it with you, mostly to announce the winner of the poster and also just to, again, pepper the 45 videos. Those are almost wrapped up. Those should be done by the end of May at the latest, and then I've already filmed some videos for Into the LPs, starting with Buckingham Nicks, so that will be coming up really soon. But right up the bat, some pages again have been the last 2 months, couple weeks, what have you. This one doesn't have a B-side yet, but this is a great photo of Stevie. I have no idea who this gentleman is. I've tried to Google image search, but it's a great photo of Stevie. And this will kind of be a running joke when I get to these pages because, as I've mentioned with the 45s and other things, when somebody has one specific photo, some places just really run with it. And for Wild Heart, this seemed to really be that photo. There's a couple more, but this one was just used over and over and over again. So, pretty simple little layout. This, I think, were letters somebody had written into, I want to say Cream Magazine or something, and just asking about what Stevie was doing, and it was prior to the release, or just right about the release of Wild Heart. So it's kind of exciting. And then this was some radio promo stuff, this little picture of Stevie with this little cutout, because they had a radio special with Stevie. But this photo really stands out to me, just a really lovely photo of her. No back on that one. Then we have a nice little collage of, actually this is a two-part. I'll start with this one. This one is kind of funny. It may or not be fixed. This is a night with Tom Petty. Original photo. And the photo is taken by I have it here somewhere. Maybe I don't. But I have all these negatives. But the negatives did not come with a photographer. What's really funny that you can't see is I was just up one night and I had begun to make a little tribute piece that went in here. And I was playing with rubber stamps, which are totally an 80s thing. Little rubber stamps and the ink pad and such. And every little letter that you see here is one little letter stamped. So you had to like get the stamp. You had to put out all you wanted to say. There's not double letters. So you had to make like a little space for it. I don't know why I got completely involved in this, but what's even funnier is that it's really pretty. It's a real pretty little moon stamp. It's really hard to see, especially the glare. And Stevie Nicks. But I had added Stevie Nicks, and it's really hard to see because it's orange on purple, but in person it's really pretty. And it's supposed to say honorary heartbreaker. At the bottom I ran out of room. So it says honorary heartbreak. But I worked really hard at it, and it's really pretty, so I'm probably just going to leave it like that. But heartbreaky, or heartbreak, like Brake. No, it's spelled right. I'm just saying. But it doesn't have the R at the end, and it's funny. But I just thought it was so creative and so pretty in here. But when I ran out of room with the layout, it was funny. You would have had to been there. Painstakingly putting those little letters are like this big. You can see they're tiny. And trying to lay them out on a stamp, and you can tell, but they're pretty well spaced. But it was just funny. So, yeah. So that was my special page, this front one. Some more photos that go with it on the back here. I think that a friend of mine has the date of this one, the date of the show. And I think maybe I was waiting to get that information, or she sent me that information, and I failed to write it on the page yet. I'm really disappointed. I usually will take, this is stamped on the back, which I thought it was. Usually I'll put it really small somewhere around here. But possibly not. Maybe it wasn't. But I thought it was one that had a photographer's name. So that was the first page of that one. And then continuing on, there's some more from the show. Some of them get a little blurry, unfortunately. Not my doing. I mean, just the, whoever is taking the photos. Like this one. It's still really nice, but it's blurry. It's the other side here. This one's really lovely, Stevie. Can I get that one to you without so much of a glare? I had mentioned, and I do mean it, before I fully get into the albums, I will find some way to not have a glare. I'm in a much smaller apartment than I used to live in. Information you don't need to know, but I'm chit-chatting here. And there's one light in the living room dining area, and it's right over here. And it's right over my table, where my table is. And there's so much room elsewhere, but then there's no good natural or overhead light. So this light is fantastic when I sit here and I craft and I go through stuff, and even when I talk to you for the most part. But otherwise, it is the dumbest location. And it's very close to the wall, even though I have the bookshelf here with all the records. If I didn't have all this stuff and I had a dining room table, you would have to put it here if you wanted some kind of overhead light. It's kind of funny. So I don't know if I'll have to film elsewhere, like, another place, like location completely, or find another room or what, but I am trying to work on that. And so, not that you asked, but I would like people to be able to see these clearly and be able to show you like a little bit close up without trying to origami it. So anyway, so that was two lovely pages to Stevie and Tom Petty. They're really nice. That whole outfit she's wearing, and she's just that shawl and everything like that is just so pretty. So yeah. These photos do not go together, but there was a page in an old fanzine I had a duplicate of, and Stevie Nicks had shown up to a concert in Bodega Bay Club of San Jose, which is close to where I grew up. And gosh, I wish I had known about this because it's just so close. But anyway, it was with Les Dudek and friends. That was the show. But then I had these other Les Dudek photos from another time, but I just put them all together because I knew who this was. And I'm not sure, again, I believe my friend told me about what show this was, but I had already made the page, and it'll probably just sit and stay the way it is. I want to say these are like 86 and this was 87 or 85, 86. But it is what it is. It's really cool because whomever took these photos for the fanzine and was able to be there, and it's just it's kind of a situation where you wouldn't have known. She just popped up, so how amazing to have been at that show, and then in walks Stevie Nicks to perform with Les. Would have been pretty amazing. And these photos I got some time ago, and they are different, but slightly. They all look the same, but yeah, no back on that one either. This was a 1980 photo page, I mean, for the scrapbook. And this was a rock and roll, like a zine or something like that, like you have in your towns. I'm not sure which city it came from, but it's pretty cool. It's, you know, something that most people won't have. This is an original. What's funny about this original is I've had this for, I got this maybe in 2002, possibly. And it's constantly for sale on eBay. And I know a couple other people have said they had it. Maybe 2000? Somewhere between 99 and 2002, I'd say. From somebody very reputable, and I know. And if somebody wants to dispute me that they have the original, it's fine. It's okay. But this is definitely an original photograph, Polaroid, I would say. A different kind, you know, those different kind of Polaroid ones, not with the thick white at the bottom. But you'll see a certain lot on eBay, and it always has this one with it. And it's not it. And then somebody else has it in the same size and says that they have the original. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe it's not a Polaroid. I've always thought it was, just because I'm of that age where I had Polaroids. I had a Polaroid like this that had the full pictures, not one with the little bars at the end. And yeah, so I don't know. But this photo's been around, and I know the person who had it also had it for quite a few years, so it's not a current item. And it's funny, anybody who has had it or who claims to have it has it in the same size. It's never bigger. So this is like a 3x5 maybe. Yeah. So, but anyway, great shot of Stevie. I have a lot more from that day for another time. But the article, so this is another situation where I could only find the article once, so I had to Xerox the other page because maybe it was on the back. And we all know how frustrating that was for me, probably. And then an article from another magazine. I might be ahead of myself on a piece. I might have the cover to this as another page. Great shot again of Stevie. Kind of a different photo. But the article is complete, but I think that, and I think this is loose. Yeah, so this hasn't been glued down. Oh, maybe it has. Anyway, I'll probably still do something with the trim. Spruce it up a little bit. Nice. Probably because it came to me folded and bent, I probably just wanted to get it pressed as soon as possible. Yeah, so this was at the very end of, well, this says September 1980, but I want to say that this article is like December 79 right into 80. So this was a Lindsey Buckingham page from his Law and Order album, The Review in Rolling Stone magazine. Nothing unusual, but kind of neat. Other people just didn't keep that stuff, but you probably remember it. Maybe if you were around back then and just remember reading it or seeing it. Theirs was really odd. They always made really odd photos to go with the band. Some are really cool, but they're always strange. And oftentimes the articles are not very nice. This one was 4 stars, which is, that's actually pretty nice, but. And then a separate, excuse you, my apologies, a separate article from Cream magazine, a review on the record. And then on the back would have been the remainder of the Rolling Stone article, and this is some really neat Polaroids of Lindsay, original Polaroids. Gypsy. It's been a really nice day today, so I have the windows open, and she's hearing all sorts of things today. So normally I would chuck this whole video and start over again, but hopefully nobody minds the little bark of my little girl. She'll be quiet now. So some neat random candid pictures of Lindsay that I was very blessed to get from a really big Lindsay fan. This one is kind of dark. This one's just kind of funny. This one, it's like he's on his guitar, but like somebody took it from far away. But they are originals, and it's kind of neat. And then it's just an extra sleeve that I had, and I just did the lettering myself, Law and Order, just to kind of tie it all in. This is a different for me, a more current one. I have a lot of current stuff, but because the photos have taken me so long, the albums have taken me so long, and I think I joked about maybe being up to 97, 98. That's completely accurate. That's about as current as I am for a photo album. And we already know, let's not do the math about how long ago 97, 98 is. I have some random current pages. I have like some Buckingham V, and I have a show that I went and saw like in 2013, and some other things like that. But as far as photo albums are made, there's so much stuff that I have from prior, from Rumors, Wild Heart, and the more stuff you get, of course, is older, because the stuff that I'm getting currently is because I'm around and I'm an adult and I buy the stuff. But I have so much catch up on. Like, Say You Will, I saw 14 shows, I want to say, from that tour. I have so much to put together for just the 2003, 2004 years of Fleetwood Mac. And that's why it's always nonstop. And a lot of us here, went through that. So we're more interested in seeing some of the older stuff. That said, I was speaking to somebody who had joined a Facebook group that I'm somehow a moderator of, but just kind of in passing, and they were talking about having been born a year after The Dance came out, at which point I just felt so old, so ancient. I'm like, what? So maybe, maybe those people are coming here because the Fleetwood Mac that they know as a kid is our 2003s, our 1997s, of course. But it killed me. So, but this would have been Stevie circa, what was this? I'm guessing 98. Yeah, 96 to 98. I think this was from the picture on the other side, at the Twister. The original Twister, for those who were born after 90. So long ago. For me, it's not that long ago, but somebody is like born in 97 and they're an adult now, getting into Fleetwood Mac, and they talk about their youth. It's crazy sometimes. But Twister, the one that came out in 1996 with the song Twisted by Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, that kind of went into The Dance coming to fruition, because Stevie and Lindsey had recorded that song, and then they thought, hey, this feels good. Let's give Fleetwood Mac another go. Sort of. So, yeah. But these are nice pictures, and, they're still older and unique stuff. I like, of course, I'm biased. Of course I like seeing the Wild Heart and Rock a Little, Rumors, and stuff like that. But, we do have 1998 onward, all the way up until today, so. So this is definitely, because like I said, you could tell the people had passes. I don't know if you can read that. And you can tell that lovely 90s style. big old chunky shoes, the power suits, the short skirts, and a long jacket. That's, if you know, you know. This was a really unique photo I found of Stevie, and it's on a card like this, as it is. That was a really neat find many years ago. Little caricature of her, the magazine, little article. So the fact that I put together this page speaks volumes, because I don't put together a lot of more current pages. I did one this last year, a Christmas page, because it was Christmas and I'd gotten this one was kind of current because I was really moved by the photographs. This was Stevie with, what's that gentleman's name? Kelsey, or when they did the Philly record. My girlfriend bought me both volumes for Christmas, bless her heart. And these were going to be, when you pre-ordered the first record, you got the a chance to buy the second record. The first record was on white vinyl, and then they released a black vinyl version, and if you bought the white vinyl and the black vinyl, you were entered into an opportunity to maybe win these lyrics signed by Stevie. And then they decided to donate those lyrics to the hospital, of which all this money was going to, all this benefit money, which is a beautiful thing, but colored me a little bit jealous, because it would have been so nice to have those. But, of course, it's much better up on a children's hospital ward wall to see and be inspired by. But this was very current for me. This was late last year. And Christmas time, I cut all these little Santas and all these leaves out of another paper to make this. So I thought that was kind of cute. But I don't normally work on more current things. I figure I'll get to them when I get to them, when I finally get all this other stuff done, which never seems to end. But that is my goal, is to get like current, like, this kind of current. So didn't mean to squirrel there, but yeah. So just some really neat, that was just more current pages. This was my whole point. So because I'm blabbering, we're getting kind of behind, I apologize. Again, Stevie Nicks, as I mentioned, in more her Easter egg colors. This was definitely 1980 as well. Beautiful set of photographs. I'm telling you, I swear I write down the photographer's name. So if it's not written down, it must not be there. That Tom Petty one, that might be a mistake. But I'm really diligent about writing that down. So then this side doesn't go with the other side. This is 1980. And this could have come from a magazine in 1980. But I don't think so. I think it came out a little bit earlier. But it was from a Japanese magazine, and it cracks me up every time I see it. And I had to take it apart recently. There was some damage to it, and re-put it together. And it was really difficult to not trim the page so that it stayed as sewn together as possible to fit it all on my page. But this was a hilarious drawing, I think, of Stevie, Linda Ronstadt, who I believe is Olivia Newton-John. And again, as cheerleaders, just cracks me up. And, kind of sexy, kind of Japanime is what it makes me think of stuff. But I'd never seen this before, and I haven't seen it otherwise. So, but yeah, I had to take it apart. You can see it's really rough in the... Normally I would trim this, but I was trying so hard to sew it, if you will, in the middle, so it all fit as best as possible. Because, of course, Stevie had to be smack dab in the middle. I just tried to keep it colorful with the tape and such. Yeah, so... And then to make matters worse, this happens to me all the time, because I'm a night owl. I'll try not to go into it. So I'll be making a page, right? And this will be a page, right? Because here's the side. And even though when you're in the album, you're looking at it like this, when you open it, you turn it aside. When you go this way, these should be facing this way, and they're upside down. I do that a lot. It drives me nuts. And it almost never fails that I do it on a page where I can't remove it. I'll do the other side. This one so happens to be, I can take it out and fix it. But it's just kind of funny to me, so to make it accurate. So when you turn the page, it'll be like that. That's it's supposed to be. And then this one was inspired. There's a photo that's on the other side of this that I right-clicked, not gonna lie. Had all this stuff. This one is from a Russian magazine, but I did not have the article in full. So the article consisted of this photo and this. This is one page. And then there was some writing behind where Stevie is here. But then I had these other ones that go with it. And this is a photo that's out of a book. But a friend of mine had used it for his Wild Heart Affair passes. So I put it there because I have a couple of these. And then same time, she's actually wearing the same little gold hat. You just can't really see it. So she just changed outfits. But I had these feathers, so I thought that looked really neat. A real peacock feather. But then what was so special about it is that this photo recently surfaced on the internet. And so I just took them in and made the page to go with the other stuff. And on this one, it's kind of cool because I don't know if you can see, but I had some rogue feathers, so I just kind of like glued them into the base there. It's real pretty when you see it up close. You can see like a little shine to it, and you don't really realize. And I did it really lightly because I didn't want to obviously put glue on the page because this was an original magazine picture, but so I just so delicately put it on there. And they're feathers, so you don't need a lot of glue or anything like that, but just to get them stuck down with something. But so this is kind of a cheater page. I feel bad. But I had these peacock feathers to go with these. And when this one came out, I was just so inspired. I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'm making this page. Again, it's for me. You know, if I were trying to sell it or do something, or this was a paid site or something like that, I would never show these. You know, my feeling is that somebody paid good money for this stuff, as I have for a lot of this. Like I'm about to show you some other pictures. And this is just all a collection. But if I were like on that, like instead of paid site or making money from it or something like that, I would never show pictures like that. It wouldn't be right. So on that note, these photos are photographer unknown. I just got these off of eBay not too long ago. Unfortunately, these photos were really folded, like kind of curled from age. So, and I try not to glue them down. So there's glue in the middle here on the back. I put real safe tape type glue on the back of photos. And there might be some in the middle on the back of this, but I don't want to put stuff on the edge to flatten this because I don't want it to go on these pictures, if that makes any sense. So I have a lot from this shot. A lot of negatives I have to a lot of these. These are original one-offs that I just got very recently, and the fact that they all went together was really neat. And I have more from this show. So this is just a current page. I made a new one because I just got these. And then more sheet music with more of these photos. And then I have about a dozen other ones that are Stevie with the hat, with the tambourine and stuff like that I'll save for another time. But yeah, so this is Stevie here. Kind of hard to see her, but really great shot. Somebody had really good seats, or I guess it wouldn't be seats, but general admission, and got there and got some really nice shots. This is a different photographer, but from the same night. So yeah, so that's it, a little pop-up. Um, with it also coming out today will be a regular 45 video. So I'm sticking to my Saturday and Wednesday releases. This has just now gone over 30 minutes because I yammer on and try to keep it short, but I have stuff to talk about and show you. So again, thank you. If you stuck through it, that means you don't mind so much and are patient with me, and I really appreciate it. And I hope you liked seeing all that stuff, and I so much to show. This is stuff, like I said, that hasn't got into the photo albums, and you see that those photo albums are each about this thick. These pages, at a minimum per photo album, and I have 16, I'm currently on 16, to have a minimum 50 of these pages double-sided each, a minimum. So that's 100 pages, because 1 and 2, you know. So I don't know how to math very good, but suffice to say it's a lot. So these that I'm showing you, again, you might see in the future, but it'll be amidst so much other stuff that you'll be like, I forgot all that, I haven't seen that, and, you know, errors that I made or things like that. Maybe they'll be ironed out by that time. So again, thank you. Happy middle of the week. Happy May. Weather is finally turning. It's sunny outside, but looks like it's snowing here in Oregon, and it's pollen. Fun, good times. We're never happy. It's either raining and too cold, or it's deathly hot, and there's a pollen count that just makes you congested, as I am and have been for the last week or so. And but yeah, it's just been really nice. And again, having the windows open so my little dog can be all barky and stuff. But as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm just going to be back to work working on more pages, and maybe some more videos coming up soon. But yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Good night.